A few weeks ago, I found this Kenworth K100 Aerodyne rotting away behind an old warehouse. I drug it home. I fought snowstorms and sub-freezing temperatures to get it running, but that was only half of the battle. Now I need to get this thing roadworthy and see if I can get it driving, because I'd like this thing to go back to work the way God intended. My trash fire has escaped. Oops. Well, the problem is when I set the cab down, I broke the throttle pedal, so I don't have any way to run the throttle. I also think that the fuel pump is losing prime somehow, and I can't prime that because the cab's down. So maybe before this stupid thing moves, maybe we need to fix the cab jack. I just spent like 10 minutes with the cab jack. I rebuilt it, which isn't the right word because I literally just put one O-ring here. I cleaned it out, and now we're pumping fluid. This is the other way. We're pushing fluid. The plan was to switch it to this 12-volt hydraulic pump. Wallet draining store. All right, I got the line pulled out of the back of the cab. That's good. So we can identify that this is the one coming over from the other side. Got the new cylinder. Doesn't want to go in there. The cab has to be up to do this. Hopefully I can get the cab up to lock with one jack. It looks like I've bled it all the way out up to here, which is the last point on the raised side. I capped the supply lines on the far side because all it was doing was opening that cylinder, because it's just going to take the path of least resistance. So by capping it, it's going to force all the fluid to this side, which should hopefully tilt the cab. I've been out here jacking for a long time and nothing's happening. The jack is just worn out and is not actually going to work. I am going to try this. Took me about 2 hours, 2 different trips, all to find a $10 fitting. This is some metric thread. This should be illegal. The second that it comes into the United States, it should be pipe thread or JIC. Nothing else should be allowed to be used. Perfect. I pinned the lock open, and now we only have fluid going to this cylinder. I just need to get the cab up far enough so I can get the other cylinder in. Well, that's working well. Let's make this safe, and then I'll get the other cab jack installed. We'll let the pressure back off. Well, I did get the cab tipped up enough that I can work in here. I think I'm probably going to have to get a double acting pump. I'm assuming that I need to be pushing fluid back to lower it down, and with a single acting pump, I'm only pushing fluid one way. Dang it. Last night when I had this hooked up to 12 volts on this pump, I took this line off and the cab stayed perfectly still, didn't move at all. I just started to unhook this line and it started pushing fluid back and the cab started to drop. So I'm gonna try something. There's a lot of pressure there. And that cab's slowly falling down, pushing fluid back out of it. What's the deal with that, boys? This is a 24.5 that appears to be in usable condition. Scratch that. I'm not even gonna put air in this thing. Get it running and let it run for 10 minutes or so. Let the air build up. Let's see what the temperature does. Let the fuel clear out. I just haven't been able to do that thus far. I got an exhaust leak right there. Got good oil pressure. I got this in gear. Let's see, did we move it all? Still not coming up on the air gauge. I'm wondering if we're just frozen lines. So as soon as I shut it down, maybe an air leak up there, but it's not bad. Should be easily able to overcome that. So I'm hoping that the lines are just frozen. In my haste and impatience, I found yet another pump on Marketplace. And this should be a dual acting pump. This is off the slide out of a camper, so you would never have gravity helping you pull or push a camper slide out. So this should force fluid one way and also force fluid the other way. So let's give it a jolt here. Oh, good. No worky. It doesn't matter what happens here. I think it should be recorded. Something happened. Still working. I think this may be in cold related. I don't know. I've been fighting with this thing for like all day. I don't understand. If I take that cylinder out and I supply line to the bottom where the line's hooked in, I can push the cylinder out, then I release the valve in the pump and I can push the cylinder back in by hand. But you put the weight of the cab on there and it doesn't go. I don't understand. I think I've fought with this long enough. I'm gonna pick it up with the telehandler and take the cab jacks out. We're done with that senseless crap. This is crazy. There's no excuse for these not to be working. What you doing, buddy? It ain't coming down. Just gravity holding up that cab. I figured I'd record that just in case. On another episode of Super Sketch with Stretch. That was sketchy. I don't want to do that again. Just got up here and noticed the cab's not sitting all the way down. What did we crush? Maybe these guys. What else? I'll probably put a ratchet strap on that so we don't launch the cab up over center. You know what they say about cab overs? In an accident, you're the first one on the scene. Level. I showed that in the last video. A bunch of people had never seen it. That's not mine. I got that from Sean. He has the TikTok. He's like, what? No way. That guy. Just take the cap like this. Run it around. I know some people love these old cabovers. I think they're coolest when someone else owns them. Working on these things is just tough. I was actually re-watching the first video and I wanted to check something. Saw this in here. That's the trolley brakes. It's cool. Probably doesn't work. And I saw this and I had some questions as to what was in here. So this is a Anthus bulb kit. What's this? Dude, no way. A brand new set of headlights, and then you can put all your bulbs in here. You know, back in the day when the guy driving the truck was the mechanic also. Now they just call a service truck on the side of the road. Cool. And tuck the tail away so that doesn't get caught in the drive shaft. Never mind the missing wheel. I think there's only one thing left to do. Welcome home, Kenworth family. Well, oh wait, wrong show. Speaking of the wrong show, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but the guy in 8 Mile looks an awfully lot like Eminem. So it just like popped out. Snow all melted just before Christmas. Beautiful, right? Yeah. Nothing I love more than a muddy brown Christmas. This one broke. I don't think that's working. You're gonna have to cut that out with a plasma cutter. I call that pipe the recommendation. West Virginia socket set. Sometimes I'm too lenient when parts refuse to obey. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. There's a look. Come apart pretty bad. Looks like there's a wheel seal leaking, which I guess now would be the right time to address that. Let's pull these apart and get 4 ordered. I ordered some parts from 4 State Trucks, gave them a call and told them I needed the airbags and the associated parts. So they're ordered from 4 State Trucks. Guys, you know I have been working with 4 State Trucks for a while now. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite company to work with. Greatly appreciate them, and I encourage each and every one of you guys to go check out their mobile app for any truck parts that you may need. And you can get 10% off your entire order of items that are not already on sale by using my code Project10 at checkout. 4 State Trucks, go check them out. And if you would, tell them thank you down in the comments, because they have made this build just that much better. Gear oil ain't supposed to be that color. Looks like we'll do a full service on this differential and that one and the front one. It's probably a good thing we took this off, because the locking nut and the locking ring were just not attached to anything. So this is the locking ring. This would thread on that. There's a ring there, and these all lock together. It gets torqued. You set a preload. Dude, there's no threads in this thing. This thing's been rolling around in there for so long, it beat the threads off of it. They make a big nut for this, but I don't have it. This probably wasn't torqued right anyway, so. Come on, buddy. In the truck. Back with parts. Got everything cleaned up, and the rains are coming, so I got to work quick. Set our down. I cleaned all this up. This new style nut here. I'm gonna tighten this, torque it to 100, spin the wheel one full turn, which that's more than one. Torque it to 100, spin it one full turn, which that's more than a full one. Torque it to 100 again. Still turn. Now we'll back it off 1/8 of a turn. I guess we're just gonna go 1/2 of a quarter, so like a quarter would be here, and I'll go right there. All right. This, and you just snap that in, which, I mean, that is way easier than the other style. It's a Stemco Pro Torque. Nice new gasket. I spent some time polishing this up because it had gotten smashed with a hammer from past incidences, I assume. It should go right on there. Look at that. All right, brand new set of brakes on there. I wanted to put that drum on there, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, the radiator shop called and they finished my side rails for the radiator. So I got to go up to pick those up and then I can start working on this thing. Such a beautiful day. It's like 30, everything's frozen, sunny. This is perfect. I adjusted them back a little bit more. Perfect. That axle's done. I got 1, 2, 3 more to do. This one's totally rusted away. So half of this broke off. I'm just gonna weld a big nut to it. Freaking bee's nest in there, dude. Paper wasp. Probably a mouse nest. Gross. I bet a mouse built a nest in there and that's why that one's set up so bad. Delamination. Oh, I was just spinning this hub around and you can see that is an oil seal leak. So, and you can see it oil seeping out of there. I'm gonna get parts ordered to change that oil seal. I probably should do those other two, but they're not leaking, so I'm not gonna fix them yet. It's late in the day. I got the axle seal on that one replaced. Didn't film it because you can only watch so many axle seal replacements before you start to really fade off into oblivion. got the heater pointed at that differential to try to heat up the fluid in there so I can drain it. That's pretty much how every single one of these 8 airbags is going to have to come out. See that? That's water. Oh, okay. It's just water. I'm gonna let that run for a while, heat that up. Great, more water. It's just gonna sit and drain for a while. What are you doing, my guy? Do you think this is somehow helping? Do you think this is helping? You have a weird way of helping. Belly rubs. Belly rubs for the puppers. Where's Max? What's he doing? When you have a situation where the airbag doesn't want to come off, I broke both the bolts down there. I have a special tool for just this application. This is special. Alright, I just want to state for the record, for your safety, never, ever, ever cut apart these spring brake cans. So that would be this side. There's a small spring on this side, but the one on the other side is like 5 times that. And if you were to cut that apart wrong, the other end of this would blow off. The dangerous part of these is not here anymore, which is the only reason I put a torch anywhere near this. Gross. Good news, as with these restorations and how they go, I'm just tracing like all the lines and for the airbags and looking at diagrams, and it's been cobbled and spliced, and I think this used to have 2 levelers on it, and there's a specific diagram for that as opposed to 1 leveler. When you get into this situation, the easiest thing to do is to go buy yourself a bunch of fittings, roll an airline, and just redo everything. Why is that dead? This is the service brake, so this is where your pedal control goes, and this is the spring brakes, which is where your parking brake would go. Here's something that people ought to be going to jail for. I need 3 different size wrenches to tighten this hose. One for this end, one for this, and then one for this adapter. This is criminal. Everything should be the same exact size. And there's the finished product. Brand new hoses, air cans, slack adjusters are adjusted so the brake should work right. Very happy. The problem with these crappy little gas engines is they just never work. Everybody gets nervous and jerky when I use starting fluid. I would stop using it if there was something that worked better. I think these tires go to like 120. I'm probably gonna put it at like 80 or 90. I think I found the source of the coolant leak. So this filter housing, it's leaking all down this line. That should probably be there, but maybe for now we just kind of clamp that off. Okay. Hopefully that stops leaking. Brand new tires. I'm just about to sell my soul to get those things. Looks so easy in the videos. stick your fingers in there when you're setting the bead, or your digits will get shorter. Oh, brother, are you gonna fight me too? Why? Why does everything have to be a fight? This truck has fought me tooth and nail every step of the way. I just want to restore you! Oh. Here's good. 4-state trucks. Sent out some Christmas presents. Just in the nick of time. So 4-state sent me out 8 airbags. We're replacing all these jalopies. Also got all of the top caps or brackets or whatever you want to call these from 4-state trucks. Guys, I can't recommend them enough. I ordered this last week and they got it to me before Christmas. Pretty freaking awesome. Look at that, brand new shiny airbag. I'm more excited than a kid on Christmas. That's because I'm an adult on Christmas Eve. I got them cleaned off of the wire wheel, and then I'm just hitting them with a little bit of surface shield here. That was extremely easy. 4 airbags all in. There's the other 4. Look at how nice that looks. Eight airbags all installed. Guys, once again, a big thank you to 4-state trucks for sending these out. They are absolutely amazing to work with. I appreciate all of the parts that I've gotten from them. And if you guys would like to get some parts from them as well, you can use my code Project10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order. 4-state trucks also has a mobile app, so it makes it super easy to order anything you need. They also have repair parts, so they have the, you know, they're a chrome shop, but then they have repair parts. So if you guys need stuff like that, check their mobile app out first and use my code Project10 for 10% off your entire order at checkout. I'm just going through now and installing all these air fittings. Got the new air lines hooked up to all the bags. I got the leveling valve installed, but as you can see, it's getting late and tomorrow's Christmas. I know you guys are seeing this after Christmas, but I hope every one of you guys had an awesome Christmas. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm gonna come back out after Christmas and get this airbag system tested, and hopefully, after fighting for an absurd amount of time in the cold and the snow, hopefully we can go drive this thing down the road. It's 15 degrees this morning and I want to drive this today. I'm gonna put a heater on this and just let it run. Nope, it doesn't like that. So cold, even the heater doesn't want to work. Got spark. We do not have fuel. I'm wondering if that fuel's gelled up. You need a heater to heat your fuel. Putting heat on that little pump. Right on. So there must have been just a little bit of something in there. Uh-oh, now the heater's on fire. Come in here to our nice built racks that I need to label. Grab the right screws. It's running now, it's just a little cranky, probably because it's 15 degrees. Let's give these airbags a good test. I have a Schrader valve rigged up here so I can fill this with the air compressor. Those bags have pressure in them. Awesome. So that air system is working. Look at this crap. 60 bucks for this pump. Just split there. It's leaking out of the top here. Like, what a pile of junk. That took about 4.5 gallons. And I am taking that pump back to Tractor Supply. It's unacceptable that broke on the third pump. Super satisfying. What did we learn? No more cabovers. Cabovers are nicest when someone else owns them. In all seriousness, this was a ton of fun. It was a ton of work. This truck really actually kicked my butt. I spent another over 2 weeks trying to get the thing driving. It was a ton of fun and I learned a lot. The future of this old heifer is absolutely uncertain. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not, but I will keep you guys updated if it goes down the road to a new owner. For those of you guys that are still here, watching the video all the way to the end is one of the best ways you can support the channel. Interacting with the videos and sharing them on your Facebook pages also helps tremendously, and I'm extremely appreciative for all those things that you guys do. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.